REANIMAL has quickly become one of the most talked about horror game launches of 2026, but not for the reasons the developers probably expected. The game arrived with huge anticipation from fans of dark, story-driven horror experiences, especially since it comes from the creators behind Little Nightmares. However, within hours of release, REANIMAL started getting flooded with negative reviews on PC, and the situation quickly turned into a full-scale controversy across the gaming community. At its core, REANIMAL is a co-op horror adventure where players control two siblings navigating a twisted and disturbing world while trying to survive terrifying creatures and environments. The game focuses heavily on atmosphere, creepy visuals, environmental puzzles, and teamwork between players. Critics initially praised its disturbing world design, unsettling imagery, and creative horror moments. Many reviewers described the game as visually striking and emotionally intense, with haunting environments and disturbing monster designs that truly stand out in the horror genre. Some critics even called it a unique and memorable horror experience filled with disturbing creativity and cinematic storytelling. But despite the strong artistic direction and atmosphere, the launch quickly ran into major problems, especially on PC. The biggest issue that triggered the backlash was the missing friend pass feature at launch. Before release, many players expected that REANIMAL would include a friend pass system similar to games like It Takes Two, allowing one player to invite a friend to play co-op without needing a second copy of the game. However, when the game launched on Steam, this feature was not available immediately for PC players. This caused massive frustration because REANIMAL heavily promotes co-op gameplay as one of its main experiences. Many players had planned to play together with friends on day one, only to discover that both players needed to buy separate copies on PC. As a result, the Steam review section quickly filled with negative feedback from disappointed players. In fact, the game's rating dropped to mostly negative shortly after launch, with many reviews specifically criticizing the missing friend pass feature rather than the gameplay itself. Reports indicated that frustration over this feature was one of the primary reasons for the review bombing on Steam. The situation became even more confusing because the friend pass feature was available on some other platforms but not on PC at launch. This made PC players feel left out and led to accusations that the launch was poorly managed. Within hours of the backlash, developers announced that they were working to enable the friend pass and eventually released it later, allowing players to invite friends to join co-op sessions. However, by that time, the damage to the game's review score had already been done, and many negative reviews remained. Beyond the friend pass controversy, some players also pointed out other issues. Several early players mentioned bugs, co-op connection problems, and occasional crashes during gameplay. Others felt that the game was shorter than expected for its price, with some completing the story in just a few hours. There were also discussions about future DLC and additional content, which made some